Yeah, I am so excited about today's. Well, excited and a bit nervous. So, welcome to those of you that are new. Today we're doing Definitely Hot Tea from Definitely to Me. So let's go ahead. And oh, by the way, thank you to those of you that have sent me wishes. I was quite off sick for the past 2 weeks, so appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right, let's go ahead, my people. So I I want to tell you about two women today. The first one built a television network, sold it for $3 billion. I mean, kitching. And then instead of stopping building a hotel empire that is now, rated number one in America. The second one was 31 years old. She was living her best life. She went on a birthday trip. She was newly engaged. Her last post said, chapter 31, I am exactly where I need to be. But she never came back home. Two Black women who travel stories, both of them deserve their flowers today. So, again, welcome back to Definitely to Me. I've got two screens and I don't know why. But anyway, we shall push through. All right. So, I hope you have your tea all, you know, sorted. And, today we're not holding back. As I said, I'm back from my almost sick leave. And so, appreciate you. So I think I'm going to start with our boss lady for today. I mean, this is the lady I said to you, I think 2 weeks ago that I'm going to be talking, about her because I thought, geez, this woman, she is a powerhouse. This is Sheila Johnson. I mean, and when I looked at her story, and I think this was again 2 weeks ago, I was just scrolling through trying to find some inspiration on who's my next, like, who will be my next storyline, who will I be talking about? And Miss Sheila was the one, really. And I'm sure some of you already know her. She, I think she was a partner. She's one of those women who walked through fire and built an empire on the other side. And she really reminds us all of how powerful a woman can be when she puts her mind to it. So let me start with the question. Do you know her name? Like I said, Sheila Johnson, because if you don't, and a lot of people don't, that ends today in this show, right here on this channel. Sheila Johnson is, one of those most extraordinary women alive. She's a businesswoman, a philanthropist, and a hotelier. She's got her own sports team, and the first woman billionaire in the history of the United States. I might be wrong because people are popping up every billionaire every second, Rihanna and them, and but she probably is one of the trailblazers. I must put it that way. And she did all of it. All of it started from a girl who just wanted to play the violin. I've always dreamt of playing rather the piano. So let me take you through her story because every single chapter of it is tea, you know. And if you can see her photo. So Sheila was born, as Sheila Crump, grew up with music. She was serious about it too. We are talking about a girl who used to wake up at midnight to practice her violin so she wouldn't disturb her family while they slept. during, I'm talking midnight to practice violin. That kind of discipline doesn't leave you. It follows you into everything you build. So in 1980, Sheila and her then husband co-founded a little cable network called Black Entertainment Television, as known, we all know it as BET. Maybe you've heard of it, right? Now, I want you to think about what 1980 looked like for Black women trying to build a media company. There was no blueprint. There was no, road trip. There was no, like, a bulletproof kind of a situation where things happen as they happen these days. There were plenty of people telling her it couldn't be done, but she did it. She did it anyway. So in 1991, BET became the first Black owned company to be listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Whoa. I mean, we're talking the first Black owned company on the New York Stock Exchange. And then let that sit in a bit. And then in 2001, BET was sold to Viacom, as we all know, those of us that are, have been following these stories, for $3 billion. $3 billion. And in that moment, Sheila, became the first Black woman in the United States to reach billionaire status, the first ever in history. So please let that sit with you for a second. I'll pause and I'll just also drink my tea. I mean, flowers to my she. So, and then we go into her next phase in life. I won't go into the details of her marriage and whatnot. This is not the show. So, but now here's the part that Sheila's story that I personally love the most is that because most people would, have stopped there. $3 billion, historic milestone, legacy secured, you could stop, really. You could travel, you could rest, but not Sheila. She did not stop there. After the sale of BET, after a very public divorce, after having to completely redefine who she was outside of the company she had spent decades building, she found herself at a crossroads. And one day she was driving with her daughter past a farm in Middleburg, Virginia. 340 acres, rolling hills, Blue Ridge Mountains in the background, so picturesque. And she said, I love that she said that this out loud. She was like, this is where I want to live. And then she bought it. Love money sometimes. It helps you do things. And she built on it. So, in the Roman mythological way, I'd say, a salamander walks through a fire and comes out completely unscathed. Yeah. It can even regenerate its own limbs. She named the company Salamander for a reason. The Salamander Collection is now, a portfolio of 7 luxury resorts across United States and the Caribbean, of course. And Washington, D.C., Virginia, Jamaica, and other places. And USA Today readers, really people voting with their own experience, have named the Salamander Collection the #1 luxury hotel brand in America 2 years in a row. She also faced, racism when she tried to build her first resort. She faced, people who did not want her, of course, there. She built it anyway and opened in 2020, in I think 2013, they said. And they have never stopped growing. Oh man, what a story. She is, 77 years old, about my mom's age. She's still building. She is still showing up. She is still winning. So That is what it looks like to walk through fire and come out the other side with the crown, you know. So go out there, see Salamander Hotel properties, and just you need to look at the interiors. Love, 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 love. So, but I'm not yet done, guys, because Sheila Johnson is also, and I need you to hear this one, the only Black woman in history to hold ownership stakes in 3 professional sports teams. I mean, this woman, ooh, you know, this is the one. So she's got the Washington Capitals, NHL, the Washington Wizards, NBA, I think NBA, the Washington Mystics, WNBA, and I like that she supports women's sports as well. I mean, 3 professional sports teams. This woman is not playing. She's not here to play. She has a memoir called Walk Through Fire. She has been a keynote speaker at the World's Best Summit in 2026. So, she gives back. She mentors, she opens doors. So the next time someone tells you there is no room at the top for Black women in travel, in hospitality, in business, send them this episode because Sheila is it. Sheila Johnson has really created a room for all of us to dream, to reach for the stars, So kudos to her. I was actually going to buy a memoir, honestly. She built it herself. Now that's the mentor you'd want to have, wouldn't you say? So, for me, we are going to make a moment of it, really, because the next story is a different tea. This is heavier. It is, a completely, important, and it needs to be handled with care. So I'm going to move on to my next story, and you've probably seen some of, some of the news in the lately. I think I saw it, was it 2 days ago, the updates. But let's go through it because I think you've seen this one, some of you maybe. And it, like I said, needs to be handled with care. So before we go there, I just wanted to say, Sheila Johnson said her name. You need to say her name and remember her story, right? She earned every single flower. So, I just put up this story and like I said, this is Ashley Janae. I mean, she's really, for me, one of those stories that I will never, ever forget. Yeah. Before we go into the story, I just wanted to go through who she was, really. Her name was Ashley Robinson online. She was Ashley Janae. And I want to start there with who she was, not how she died or who she lived. How she lived, rather. She was born April 5th, 1995, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She grew up in South Jersey. She moved to Miami, and she built something online that her followers describe as a vision board brought to life. She was a model, a content creator, a self-described soft life divesta. And if you have been watching this channel, you know what that means. We talked about, soft life movement in episode 11. We talked about Black women, choosing peace, choosing themselves. And Ashley Janae was living that life. She was living that out very loud. She shared her travels, her style, her life. She had over 100K followers across Instagram and TikTok. So she was doing very well, real people, real community, real connection. So her friend Savannah Britt, who has been one of the most vocal voices demanding answers, described her as, someone who moved in Miami and built a world that felt intentional and beautiful. Her father, Harry Robinson, said, and this one stayed with me really. She's always smiling. She loved being in front of the camera. So, and you can see here this lioness that she wanted to live life to the fullest. So in a final Instagram post on the 5th of April 2026, her 31st birthday, she was in a safari Tanzania, in Tanzania rather, surrounded by rose petals that spelled out, and I think I have that here. This is the picture. That spelled out HBD, Ashley, feeding a giraffe glowing. Sorry guys, this story just gets to me. As you can see, she's glowing. And the caption read, chapter 31, I am exactly where I need to be. So her mother later said, she FaceTimed the family from the trip. She was sharing the adventure. She was happy, as you would be. She was starting a next chapter. 4 days later, she was gone and alive. And so we want to know, people were asking what happened. Now I'm going to be very careful here because this is, when I last did this investigation, it was, this video, the story was still unraveling. But as at, I think, 2-3 days ago, it was said that, she basically unalived herself. And basically the investigation was shut. So I will tell you what has been publicly confirmed, by verified news sources. Ashley was traveling in Zanzibar, Tanzania, with a fiancé, Joe McCain, a crypto investor. During the trip, he proposed to her. You can imagine the excitement, the thrill. By every account, this was meant to be a celebration, a birthday, a beginning, according to multiple news outlets, including ABC News and CBS and CBS News. The couple had an argument during their stay at the resort. It was significant enough that, the staff intervened and separated them, as you can imagine, into different rooms. And this is their wording, the safety of each other. The following morning, April the 8th, Ashley was found unresponsive in her villa. She was rushed to hospital April the 9th, 2026, and she was declared unalive. So Zanzibar police have stated their ruling is suicide. Her family was publicly, firmly, they have rejected that conclusion. You can imagine the feeling that, her family is going through. And I'm quoting directly from CBS. There is nothing that is confirmed, and at the time it was under investigation. But as I said to you, that there were updates a few days ago because, her father, Harry Robinson, said one thing that, I keep coming back to. He said, there are cameras everywhere at the resort, and that will match the timeline. Just do the investigation and let us know. So, as I said, they probably know now of what happened to this beautiful Black Queen. He didn't ask for speculation. He didn't ask for social media trials. He asked for the truth. Now, here's what happened next. Her father, Harry Robinson, traveled to Washington, D.C. personally to press the United States government to make contact with Tanzanian authorities and get answers for his family. That effort worked. Officials came, made contact, and independent autopsy was commissioned by the family. As of this recording, those results, I guess they've been released now, and her body was returned to New Jersey without, an engagement ring. Guys, this one was a heavy one. So, you can imagine what the family was going through, that you go on holiday and you just never come back to your beloved ones. So, the family, they don't know when or if those items will be returned. The fiancé released a written statement on May the 5th, the same day she was laid to rest, describing his grief and calling her passing an incomprehensible tragedy. He was not at a funeral. A family barred him from attending. They have not spoken to him since her death. As of today, no one has been, charged with any crime. So, as I said a few days ago, the investigation was closed. I will say this again, this was one of those tragedies that happened to this beautiful woman, and may her soul rest in peace. So I'm not here to, decide what happened. Only the investigation could have. What I'm here to do is make sure she's not forgotten, and I'm hoping, that the community that she has, the people that she loved, she held dearly, are supported, by those people that really held her dearly. So, guys, I'm going to end on this note, because at the end of the day, when you look at stories like this one, it just breaks your heart when someone goes and they're celebrating and there's so much excitement, and you just never think of it. So I want to end on this note, my good people, and I appreciate you for joining me. This is our episode 12, I believe. It's been a ride. So I appreciate you. Please don't forget, when you go on YouTube, I'm trying to do Substack as well, but don't forget to hit that notification button, subscribe, let me know what your take is on all of these stories that we've been sharing throughout up to episode 12. I will see you in the next one, my people. Let me know what your thoughts are. Okay. Have a good week ahead. I love you for watching. Take care. Bye.